and it is not the last day of February, although by rights it should be. It is February 28th. It's a leap year. I wrote about leap year this morning in my blog, and um, was thinking about it. That extra day of the month, extra day of winter, as meteorologically, spring begins March 1st. Astronomically, it begins on the equinox, which is based upon the arrangement of the sun and stars relative to the earth. And but meteorologically, it's based more on the seasons as well as the Gregorian calendar. Interesting, as really seasons have no particular date. It's seamless. Case in point, spring blizzard, which we get here occasionally. It's been a few years since we've had one, but we've gotten 2 feet of snow in March before. When I did my very first 100 at the end of April in 2015, uh, there was a snowfall and freezing rain. So, yeah, seasons don't know anything of Gregorian calendars, or they don't respect position of the sun and stars. Well, maybe that's not true. I think they do, to an extent, have to, as the position of Earth relative to the sun will eventually bring warmth. Spring arrives. That's how it happens. But we are entering that phase now. Even in the last day of February, second to last day of February, thanks to the leap year, it takes the Earth approximately 365.25 days to travel its course around the sun. And it's that 0.25 that gets us in trouble. What do you do with all that time? Eventually, it adds up to a day, and it's an extra day, and every 4 years, we tack it on to February, which used to piss me off because, I want February to end. I want that meteorological spring to begin. However, I think it was 64 degrees outside today. February 28th, February 29th, regardless, spring is arriving. We'll still have winter. Winter will have its last grasp. But sometimes these things can commingle. Sometimes they can be spring and winter in the course of a week, sometimes in the course of a day. And sort of what I love about the seasons, not knowing what to expect. Most especially, the equinoxes are more dramatic in what they offer, because there's a fine line between late fall and winter. Cold is cold, blustery is blustery, snow is snow. Same with May and June, where you get that hot and humidity, especially here. It gets hot and humid in Maryland late April, and will generally stay that way until October. There's little variance, but in general. And the equinoxes, though, you can have any season in any day at any moment, which again makes them more dramatic. I love the equinoxes. Solstices too, but again, the equinoxes are that whatever, the mystery of every season at once. And an equinox, it can be virtually any season at all, so it seems. So, with all that said, happy later days of February. One more left, February 29th. Enjoy the leap year. We're not going to have one again for another 4 years. I don't know if they happen every 4 years, but approximately every 4 years. It seems because it's the accumulation of slices of time that there's something, I don't know, something magical in the feel of February 29th, that it comes so seldom, and that it is leftover time, if there can actually be such a thing. And of course, according to Einstein, and then even furthermore so, according to quantum physics, no, time can't be split like that. Time isn't a quantifiable substance thing, which is important to consideration. Important to put in consideration, sorry, that can we waste time? Can we spend time? Do we have leisure time? Do we have work time? If time is a matter of convenience, then perhaps we can make of it what we will. I don't know, just thinking out loud. It brings me around to thoughts of my channel, my YouTube channel, being here, having these conversations. Am I wasting my time? Does it matter? When I think, as I mentioned in my workout video afterwards, after the workout, what I'm doing with my channel is hopefully presenting offend you. Hey, actually, I think I get it. Can I live in your basement? Well, if you lived in my basement, I would have absolutely no place to do my burpees. It makes no sense to have a YouTube channel, just a yogi in his living room doing burpees, just a yogi in his bedroom doing burpees, just a yogi in his shower doing burpees. It only makes sense for me to do my burpees in the basement. And although my home is always welcome to friends, and I wouldn't want to leave you without a place to stay, I would feel sort of as if I compromised my YouTube integrity. And plus, I'd have to think of a whole other name change. So I'm going to have to respectfully and regrettably say, no, I'm sorry. That. Plus, you know what? On the opposite side, I share a house with my brother. We inherited a house from my father when he passed away. We were his caregivers. After my divorce, I came to stay with my dad, and we took care of my mother, who had Alzheimer's. I have a house. I just like your basement, but thanks anyway. Well, thank you. Yeah, I like my basement too, actually. Although some YouTube friends, some Burpees friends have said that it has a nice 70s vibe. I think it's the paneling. And it was put up in the 70s when I was just a kid, which tells you, as if he didn't know by looking at me, approximately how old I actually am, which is old. Not as old as some, but I think I might be one of the elder statesmen in the burpee community. It's quite a distinction. Yeah, so after my divorce, I moved in. My dad and I took care of my mom. Actually, my whole family did. And then later, as my dad's own health started failing as he got older, I stayed on as his caregiver until his final days, until his last day, as a matter of fact. So we inherited the house, and it's paid for. Makes things easier for me. Makes things easier for my brother. We split the difference. I've been able to be semi-retired for several years. Although, as I've mentioned previously, my funds are running low, which is one of the reasons why I started to approach monetizing my YouTube channel. But I gotta wonder, is there anything worth monetizing? Does anyone want to see a Yogi doing burpees in his basement and then talking about weird stuff? But it is an opportunity for me to put out the stuff that I love to talk about, for me to put out the stuff that I base my life upon, which is basically, as my friend Destiny Forever Walks PhD, who has a wonderful channel. If you guys haven't visited her, you definitely should. A yogic lifestyle. And there she is. Destiny Forever Walks PhD, I just mentioned your name. She says, good day and blessings. How are you? I'm doing pretty well. I was just mentioning your yogic lifestyle title for the channel that you mentioned, I think last week. And is that enough to monetize the channel and make a modest income, pay my taxes, to buy some groceries, to buy what I consider one of my few luxury items in my life, which is books, as you might be able to tell. And this is just a small sampling of all the books all over the house. And this is just one room. Every room was like this, as my whole family forever has always read. Destiny says, I hear you, Eric. Thanks for the kind remarks. Likewise, your channel is super awesome. Thank you. I hope to get it there. I don't know exactly that it is. I appreciate you saying that. But it's my channel, which is an important observation to make. Meaning it's always going to be different than anyone else's, and that alone makes it worthwhile to me. Because I get to put my own unique expression out there in the world. I get to be fearless in the face of judgment, criticism, and anyone who does anything publicly is going to get that. I've seen it on other people's channels. I've seen it on mine. And I think especially if you try to put out something that has no small amount of joy, if you try to be creative, and if you want, my expressed wish, my desire, is to just keep bringing light into the world, to keep bringing light into YouTube, for people to come to the page and, for whatever reason, even if only for a moment, and feel somewhat lighter and expressing more joy, I guess, is the best way. So we'll see how that unfolds. You know, I've heard other people mention this. I've heard other people give up on the idea of monetizing their channel. I'm getting slowly edging towards the watch hours. That seems to be the difficult part, as they add up slowly. My YouTube shorts have seemed to, after the first few weeks of doing them, several thousand views almost immediately, and they've dried up to just a few 100, which is okay, because I'm going to continue them anyway, as I really enjoy sharing the nature of my neighborhood, close proximity, not just my immediate neighborhood, but my extended neighborhood as well, and just sharing those nature shorts opens me up as I take my walk, and looking, what is it that I want to share? What is it that I want to impart for others to experience when they see this? Can they see things a little bit through my eyes, from a different perspective, from a yogic perspective. I've titled some of them Zen Shorts, because the essence of Zen, the essence of non-duality, is when we, as a personality, as a thought, are left behind or set aside, coexisting at once with the emptiness, the nothingness, the absolute of who and what we are. And when you experience nature, you're experiencing your true self. Maybe experiencing isn't the right word, because it might be the absence of an experience. It is just participation in and of itself. And meaning that when you're a participant, there's no other. It's the collapse of a witness. When the witness and the witnessing are now the same thing, the same exact thing. There's no separate witness in watch, in thrall of something other. Destiny says that's what makes your channel successful, by being your unique self. Stay true to your vision, for it will only work for you and your channel. Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Sometimes, sometimes I do lose a little, not focus, and not hope, but sense of Dharma, sense of being on the right path. And it's always good to have that reaffirmation. Dusty says, hope you're having a great day. Tiffany, welcome to our place of love, harmony, and peace. We all love living it. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Wednesday. Thanks for that welcome, Destiny. He has been a visitor here before, and he's a funny guy. I actually appreciate him stopping by and sharing. Can be a little sarcastic. I can appreciate sarcasm. Whenever anybody comes, I always, of course you always want someone to be polite and respectful. But I also appreciate being clever and humorous. I've had people come here to troll, and that's the one thing that I ask of them. If you're going to come here to troll, be different, be unique. Don't do the same stuff that every other troll is doing. What's the sense in doing anything if you're just going to be like someone else? Same with a YouTube channel. Which is why I think, how it started, actually how my channel originally started, was when I was getting my certification to be a primordial sound meditation teacher. I needed to share my links of me demonstrating teaching to a student. And I had to do that by putting a YouTube video, but not having it shared. It wasn't public. I had to invite the teacher who would come and view it and leave a comment, and then I would work on whatever suggestions they made. And then suggestion from some burpee friends said, hey, put up a video, which I did, and it just grew from there. I found that I, surprisingly for me, enjoyed talking to the camera. I say surprisingly because I'm a horrible public speaker. Getting up in front of an audience has always been a terrifying experience. I've done it before, and even when I was doing my videos for to be a meditation teacher, same with when I was becoming a breathwork coach, even just having the camera pointing at me and knowing that I was only talking to one person, I kept getting nervous and messing up. And yet somehow I put the camera after doing a set of burpees, and I started talking about whatever was on my mind, which is, as usual, stuff about meditation, stuff about yoga, stuff about um, all kinds of different spirituality. I was enjoying myself, and I just kept doing it. And here I am, like 800 some different sessions later. Destiny says, I am cautious. It's just my moderator's instinct. And I appreciate that. It's actually good to have, it's always good to have some guardrails on, some self-protection, have other people protecting you as well. Odom says, hey, just a yogi, doing burpees in his basement, listening at work, busy day. I appreciate that, Odom. And especially on such a busy day. Destiny says, I'm loving your nature videos, and I'm really loving making them and putting them out. And I do mine as well. Mocha and I, several times a week, we'll take our walks together. What used to be just a fitness walk, where we would go very brisk at a racing pace sometimes, has turned into a slower meander and look. Now, like today, I go out by myself, and it's a combination run and nature excursion. I go running slowly, I'm watchful, I look at things to catch my eye, I look at that unique perspective, seeing things from my point of view, seeing things from a non-duality outlook, and wishing to share it. And then I stop and I'll film it, or then I'll walk, and then I'll start running again, and the whole thing will repeat itself for however many miles. Destiny is wishing a grand day and blessings to Odom. You know what? It didn't get many views, Destiny. The Bluebird, actually. Oddly enough. Let's see. I'm here at my channel. Same with the tree, the water. Sometimes I wonder, you know, if things get too esoteric, too out there. I should rein myself in a little bit, which is not at all possible, by the way. Yeah, my first video, the Canadian goose, or actually the mourning dove, got several thousand. But you know what? You just never know what's going to capture someone's imagination. You do what you do. And you have to be... If I was posting something to capture views, I think I would definitely lose something. Yeah, you know what? The bluebird at the feeder, and you know, bluebirds is so hard around here to catch even a photo, because they're not super common. This is the first one I've seen this week or so. Well, the past several weeks. The first ones we saw this year. And we were trying so hard, Mocha and I, to see one. And then to get that opportunity to film it. It only got 4 views, which is odd. I'll have to see if I can do something to get that out there a little bit more, because they're such beautiful birds. Let's see. Oh, yeah. So if you're doing anything just to get the views alone, you compromise your artistic integrity in a way. You got to put things out that you see that have meaning to you, that have value to you, and you have to be unattached to the outcome. If 4 views is all it gets, my sincere hope, my sincere wish is that 4 people really, really enjoyed looking at that bluebird, appreciating its beauty, sharing in that moment. That's the magic of doing the shorts, is a moment in and of itself is fleeting. It doesn't last. Always in motion. It's my friend Robert Saltzman, the author of the 10,000 Things Independent of No Thing, has said, each moment is a once upon. Even as we're there experiencing it, it's already changing. It's already becoming something else. And continuing it that way, forever, infinitely so. That right now we're an extension of every single previous moment since the Big Bang itself created time and space. And yet, you can take a film, a short little video, 30 seconds or less, and I guess you have a minute, right, for short. So a minute or less of something absolutely amazing, and capture it and share it with others. The YouTube shorts, for me, have been nothing less than miraculous that I get to share this stuff with people. Odom is hoping that Destiny has a good day, and Destiny is having a super amazing day, which is always good to hear. Destiny says, go with the flow, Eric. Let your spirit take you into the direction that it has been predestined for you and your journey. It's your purpose. Thank you, Destiny. I appreciate the, again, the reaffirming that which I'm hoping to, it's not even I can't even say it's something I hope to accomplish, because that makes it seem like, one, something I'm working towards, and you know what? Being in the proximity of a bluebird is certainly not work at all. It's just sharing. Being in the company of a bluebird, being in the company of moving water on a small pond, being in the company of a tree splitting itself is, yeah, it's certainly not work. It's a blessing. And to be able to share that blessing is just a continuation of that original blessing. Would I like to be able to pay my bills through this blessing? The answer is yes. And I have small needs. So it is a possibility. I do not believe that you need to, that you cannot make a living through your art. I actually have to believe that you can make a living through your joy, that you don't need to suffer doing what you do. Life can be difficult in and of itself. We don't need to add the suffering of believing that we have to suffer for our art. Art itself is such a joyful experience. Precious Peter says, please, where am I? The answer, according to Ram Dass, is I am here and I am now. The answer, according to locality, is I am in the state of Maryland, in the United States, in between Baltimore and Washington, D.C. Beautiful, beautiful little corridor between those major cities. A friend, it is what it is. Lewis is here. Good morning, YouTube family. Good morning, Lewis. How are you? And we're getting some welcomes all the way around. Um, so, I've seen people who have just stuck with the burpee videos attract quite a busy dad, Max. Um, I don't know how many subscribers he has now, but I think like 60,000. Lee Hazard, strong and condition. Um, I remember when both of them were 300, 400 subscribers, and going there to support. If you stay true to your message, if you have a message, and you stay true to it, and as I stated, for me, my message, this is what I think about in my writing. Sometimes I'll write an entire screenful, a page, in hope of one line. Could use 1,000 words, but if I have one line in that entire lyrical prose that I've written that strikes me as a line of depth and beauty and meaning and value, every single word surrounding it, supporting it, it's all been worth it. If I put up one YouTube short and it only has 4 views, and it's the beauty, again, the beauty of a bluebird, or it's a squirrel scampering up a tree, it's 2 doves on a branch, if I can share that little slice of life, that little slice of nature and beauty and meaning and value to me, and someone else looks at it, and if they just smile, if I've earned a smile in anything that I've written, if I've earned a smile or a moment of inspiration for any short or any talk or any string of words I've ever put together on YouTube or on my blog, everything I've ever attempted to do has well been worth it. If doing a 20-minute burpee session, someone looks at it and says, I think I can do that. I'm in better shape than that old bald guy doing burpees in his basement. It's all been worth it. I can't help to think when I look at, when I visit It Is What It Is, and I watch him do a set, that there's somebody watching him and watching the fluidity of his reps and hearing him talk, his encouragement, and they say, I'm going to start my fitness journey. I'm going to do this. I want to move like that. I remember my first time seeing a yogi demonstrate the yoga poses in that same type of fluidity, and just being floored that the human body could move that way. And they were channeling this divine energy that was speaking through their body, expressing itself. It was the only way you can really describe it, is that it was the universe expressing itself through this human's body. And I was hooked. What I soon realized, though, was Reaper would like to have dinner in my house. Sure. Here's the thing, though. This is a thing where most people say, never mind, that I'm a vegan. I only cook vegan food. However, I don't make any demands on anyone having to be a vegan. They can come to my house and cook their own stuff, although I actually prefer things not to be my own personal utensils be used with meat. That's kind of a weird thing, but anyone who's tuned into this conversation for any amount of time should not be surprised if I have a weird lifestyle. I've fully embraced every aspect of my weirdness. If someone comes over to my house and say, man, you're really weird, I'm like, did you just meet me? Have you not known me? Even in our first encounter, didn't you suspect? And when I use the term weird, I always refer to it in the WYRD, which is the original Old English, the Celtic. I believe it's actually Germanic in origin. And it means deep connection to the universe itself, that you're supposed to be weird because you're a unique expression of the entire universe. You're the infinite channel down into finite form. To waste your life by not being weird is indeed a waste. So, to answer your question, Reaper, yes, sure, come whenever, you can have dinner. I should also mention, by the way, my major meal of the day I've already had. I'll have one small meal a little over an hour from now, and then I'm done until tomorrow. So I eat early, I go long stretches of time without eating, and I go to bed early, and I'm up extremely early. Let's see. Destiny says, today is Wednesday. Dr. Destiny, you see, I get my days mixed up a lot. That's because I live in the moment. Happy Wednesday. I actually, I do know that. We can always see when you are joyfully dancing on the treadmill that you are 100% in the moment. And I mentioned that earlier when I was talking about that extra day added onto the month being a leap year. Tomorrow's the 29th. That it really, you can't save up time. It's always only infinitely right now, and will always be. When did anything ever happen? Reminds me of my friend Gilbert Schultz wrote a book based upon his teacher, who was Srila Bob Adamson, and his teacher, Srila Bob, was Nisargadatta Maharishi. So it's a great lineage. And he wrote a book called What's Wrong with Right Now If You Don't Think About It? I mentioned this before a couple of days ago. It's all based upon a thought. Everything. All of it. Would it be Wednesday if we didn't think about it? If we didn't have a word Wednesday? Would it be 1:54 according to my clock if we didn't think about it? What time would it be if we didn't think about it? The only answer, the only logical conclusion, it would be now. If I ask you in the imaginary time jump of 2 hours, when is it? The only logical answer would be right now. It would still be now, even though we made that imaginative leap into the imaginative future. Same with if we think about those memories. Where does a memory exist? That moment itself is gone. Only takes place in our imagination now. A memory in and of itself takes place right now. The memory of that previous event is taking place right now, which means that the essence of that thing that you're holding on to is still in our heart. If it's a good memory. If it's a bad memory, then we need to let it go, which is easier than it sounds. You're letting go by the realization that moment itself has never happened. It's gone. You only have right now. So, speaking of time, it is getting close to 2 o'clock here, and 2 o'clock means that it is my second meditation for the day. Which reminds me, I was going to talk about sadhana. Sadhana means spiritual practice, and the things that I do through my day that are part of my practice. Never got around to it. but that gives us a conversation for tomorrow. Destiny says exactly, we only have right now, and it's all we need. It's the only thing in existence. It is also the secret to our immortality. If we really, really, really think about it, all we have is now. Is anything ever lost? Is anything ever gained? If it's all contained right here. One thing before I say goodbye that I've added to my sleep hygiene practice to help me get to sleep, help me stay asleep, to help me sleep deeper and be more rested in the day, recover better. Sleep is so important to every aspect of our life, and we take it for granted until we begin to suffer some issues, which I went through 2 years ago, and it was a truly almost a horrifying experience. The anxiety and the panic that went into those sleepless nights, I did not wish upon anyone. So as I made the changes to my sleep hygiene and things got better, I shared as much as possible so that, again, others won't suffer, and they have ways of, if they are suffering from it, ways of dealing with it. And breath work being one, turning things off, getting early sunlight to the eyes. But here is one I had never thought of before, but recently discovered, actually from a fellow yogi. She actually has a yoga school. Soaking your feet in warm water before you go to bed. Soaking your feet with some essential oils, even better. Soaking your feet with some Epsom salt. That way you're also getting some minerals into your body at the same time. And it has actually really improved the quality of my sleep quite a bit. So give it a try. Warm water, warm bordering on hot, because you want to soak them for about 20 minutes. So you want to be able to have it go down, but not cold when you take your feet out. Put some Epsom salt in if you want, or some essential oils, and just put your feet in the water, 20 minutes. Tomorrow, remind me, and I'll share the research medically, not just yogically, but medically as well, on why this works so well. If you want to improve your sleep, if you want to be more rested in the morning, help your recovery from your workouts, give this one a shot. It's the easiest thing in the world to do, and it makes a difference. You want to do it within an hour of going to bed so that you're still feeling the effects by the time you get in bed. I do it within half an hour of me going to bed, 40 minutes or so. So, let's see. Destiny says, thanks, Eric, for a great panel discussion. Thank you. I appreciate you and all your friends in the chat, and also their input. Great fellowship family. Much love. Thank you very much, Destiny. And Noah says, who's to say tomorrow is promised? I agree 100%, which makes us appreciate as well as embrace this moment that we have right now. Odom says, have a blessed day, everyone. Thank you, Odom. You as well. I hope your work day goes smoothly for you. It is what it is, Lewis. I look forward to watching you get your reps in, as well as listening to your awesome soundtrack. And I will see everyone tomorrow. Remind me about talking about the soaking the feet. And we'll talk some more about that. All right, guys. Thanks for joining me today. Take care, guys.